পড়ছে মিষ্টি সুরে।
The air crackled with the electricity of a new school year. The hallways were alive with the buzz of fresh starts and endless possibilities. Emily clutched her notebook, a shield against the nervous flutter in her stomach. It was her first day at a new school, and the weight of the unknown pressed heavily on her shoulders. It was a feeling she knew well, the tremor of starting anew, of hoping to find her place. She had moved schools before, but the anxiety never seemed to lessen. She found solace in the familiar weight of her headphones, the music a soothing balm to her anxieties. The melodies wrapped around her like a comforting blanket, offering a momentary escape from the chaos around her. Little did she know, fate was about to orchestrate a melody she could never have imagined. A chance encounter, a fleeting moment, would soon change everything.
The school hallway buzzed with the cacophony of chatter and laughter. It was a symphony of youthful energy, each note a testament to the excitement of new beginnings. Emily navigated the crowded space, her gaze drifting over unfamiliar faces. She felt like a small boat in a vast ocean searching for a safe harbor. Each locker slam, every burst of laughter seemed amplified, a symphony of chaos that both intrigued and overwhelmed her. The sounds echoed in her mind, a constant reminder of the new world she had stepped into. She longed for a familiar face, a friendly smile, a moment of connection in the overwhelming sea of new beginnings. Her heart yearned for a sign that she wasn't alone, that she could find her place in this new chapter of her life.
Then her eyes met his. Across the crowded hallway, their gazes locked, as if the universe had conspired to bring them together in that very moment. He was leaning against a locker, headphones on, a shy smile playing on his lips, seemingly lost in his own world until their eyes met. Time seemed to stop as their eyes met, the bustling hallway around them fading into the background. The noisy hallway faded, the crowd a blur of indistinguishable faces, leaving just the two of them in sharp focus. In that instant, it was just them, two souls recognizing something familiar in the other's gaze, as if they had known each other in another life.
Emily felt her cheeks flush, a warmth spreading through her chest, her heart beating faster with each passing second. His eyes, a shade of warm hazel, held a depth that intrigued her, drawing her in like a magnet. She couldn't explain it, but she felt inexplicably drawn to him, as if their meeting was not a coincidence, but a predestined encounter orchestrated by the universe itself. It was a feeling she had never experienced before, a connection that felt both new and ancient.
He offered a tentative wave, his smile widening, a silent invitation for her to come closer. And Emily couldn't help but mirror his expression, her own smile growing as she took a step forward, feeling a sense of excitement and anticipation for what might come next.
Music became their bridge, a connection that transcended words and spoke directly to their souls. He loved the raw energy of rock, the way it made him feel alive and invincible. She, on the other hand, was drawn to the soulful depth of indie, the way it spoke to her heart and painted vivid pictures in her mind. Sharing earbuds, they discovered a shared passion that transcended genres, a beautiful blend of their individual tastes that created a unique harmony. Their conversations flowed easily, punctuated by laughter and shared dreams. They talked about everything and nothing, finding joy in the simple act of being together. Emily found herself looking forward to their encounters, her heart skipping a beat every time she saw him in the hallway. His presence was like a melody that played in the background of her life, always there, always comforting.
They spent stolen moments in the library, poring over old vinyl records, their fingers brushing as they reached for the same album. Each touch was electric, a silent promise of more to come. He introduced her to the gritty poetry of classic rock lyrics, the stories of rebellion and freedom. She, in turn, shared her love for the introspective melodies of indie bands, the songs that made her feel understood and less alone. With each shared song, each whispered lyric, their connection deepened. It evolved from a spark of interest into a bonfire of shared passions and unspoken emotions, a love story written in the language of music.
Not everyone understood their bond. Whispers followed them, casting shadows of doubt on their connection. Some saw their differences, he the introspective artist, she the outgoing free spirit. But they held on to each other, finding strength in their shared world of music and whispered dreams.
Emily felt a pang of insecurity, a fear that the whispers might be right. Were they too different? Could their love withstand the scrutiny of those who didn't understand? She confided in him, her voice trembling with unspoken fears.
He listened patiently, his gaze never leaving hers, and when she was done, he simply took her hand, his touch speaking volumes where words failed.
Graduation loomed, a bittersweet symphony of endings and beginnings. He was accepted into a prestigious art school miles away, and she had a scholarship to a university across the country. Their dreams, once shared in hushed whispers, were pulling them in different directions.
What if this is it?
Tears welled in Emily's eyes, blurring her vision. They stood hand in hand under the shimmering lights of the gymnasium, the music of their final high school dance fading into the background.
It's not an ending, Em. It's just a comma. A pause before our next chapter.
He cupped her face in his hands, his touch gentle yet firm. His voice was husky with emotion, a promise etched in their hearts. Distance tested their bond. Late-night phone calls, filled with laughter and longing, became their lifeline. Care packages arrived on birthdays, filled with shared memories and promises whispered across the miles. They held on to their connection, nurturing it with every letter, every phone call, every shared dream. Emily stared at the photograph clutched in her hand, her heart aching with a familiar longing. It was a picture from their senior prom, their smiles radiant, their eyes reflecting a love that knew no bounds. Years had passed, yet the intensity of her emotions hadn't faded. She traced the outline of his face, her fingertip lingering on his lips, a phantom sensation of his touch sending shivers down her spine.
Softly, narrator, life happened. New experiences, new relationships shaped their paths. The calls became less frequent, the letters fewer. They had promised to stay in touch, to always be a part of each other's lives. But sometimes life's symphony played a different tune, and the melody of their love faded to a bittersweet echo.
Emily stood at the edge of the rooftop terrace, the city lights twinkling below like a million fallen stars. She had achieved her dreams, built a life she was proud of, yet a part of her still yearned for a love that felt both distant and achingly familiar. The years had softened the edges of her grief, transforming the raw pain into a melancholic acceptance. Years later, a familiar melody drifted from a passing car.
Emily stopped, transported back to their shared moments. The music, once their anthem, now a poignant reminder of a love that burned bright but flickered out too soon. She realized some loves, like certain songs, stay with you forever.
The melody washed over her, unlocking a flood of memories. She closed her eyes, and for a fleeting moment, she was back in that crowded high school hallway, their eyes meeting across the room, the spark of recognition igniting a flame that would forever hold a special place in her heart. She smiled, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek, a testament to the enduring power of first love. Emily never forgot him.
He remained a part of her, shaping her understanding of love, loss, and the bittersweet symphony of life. Their love, though transient, had taught her the importance of vulnerability, the thrill of connection, and the enduring power of shared passions.
She carefully tucked the photograph back into the album, her fingers lingering on the image of their younger selves. Their love story might not have had a fairy tale ending, but it had enriched her life in ways she couldn't have imagined. It had taught her that sometimes, the greatest love stories aren't about finding a forever, but about cherishing the moments that take your breath away, the connections that leave an indelible mark on your soul. Emily looked up at the night sky, a million stars twinkling like diamonds scattered across black velvet.
She imagined him somewhere out there, living his own life, their paths no longer intertwined, yet forever connected by the invisible threads of shared history. She whispered a silent thank you to the universe for the gift of their love, a love story written in the stars.
She took a deep breath, the cool night air filling her lungs with a sense of peace. Their love story might not have been perfect, but it had been theirs, a testament to the transformative power of human connection. And in the grand tapestry of life, wasn't that all that truly mattered? Their story, though simple, held a universal truth. It whispered that love, in all its messy, complicated glory, is always worth the risk. It reminded us that sometimes the most profound love stories are written not in grand gestures, but in the quiet moments of shared laughter, whispered secrets, and the bittersweet symphony of a love that dared to touch the very core of our being. Believe in the extraordinary power of true emotions. Let them guide you, shape you, and remind you that even in the face of loss, love always endures.